A fruit fly can lose a leg and keep walking. It may still feed, mate, and escape as if nothing happened. For decades, that looked like proof that insects do not feel pain. Then, scientists damaged a fly's nerve and discovered that the injury changed the way its nervous system reacted long after the wound itself was gone. The fly became hypersensitive. Something that had once been harmless now triggered an escape response. That is where the simple answer begins to fall apart. Every insect can detect danger to its body. Heat, crushing pressure, damaging chemicals, and wounds activate special nerve cells that work like biological alarm sensors. These cells trigger fast protective reactions: pull away, roll, jump, fly. But detecting damage is not the same as feeling pain. Pain requires something more, an unpleasant experience attached to the alarm. And because an insect cannot describe that experience, scientists have to search for signs that its response is more than an automatic reflex. The first clue is flexibility. In 2022, researchers gave bumblebees a choice between feeding stations. Some offered sweeter sugar water, but the surface beneath them was heated to a temperature the bees normally avoided. When the reward was weak, the bees stayed away. When the sugar became valuable enough, some crossed the heated surface to reach it. They were not simply obeying "heat means retreat." Their decision changed with the reward, and visual cues helped them choose before landing. A reflex does not normally negotiate, a brain does. That still does not prove the heat felt painful. A machine can compare costs and rewards too. But the experiment showed that a bee's reaction to something harmful can change depending on motivation, memory, and context. The same kinds of things that shape pain behavior in larger animals. Fruit flies add something stranger. In a 2019 study, researchers injured a nerve in one leg. After the injury healed, the flies remained unusually sensitive to heat across the rest of the body. The injury had removed one of the nervous system's brakes. The alarm was no longer being held back, so weaker signals now triggered stronger escape responses. Something similar can happen in humans after nerve damage, when the original injury is gone, but the nervous system keeps turning ordinary sensations into danger. The fly did not merely react at the moment of injury, its future behavior changed because of it. Scientists have also found that the fly's brain can send signals back down into the body and weaken the alarm before it causes a reaction. That matters because pain in larger animals is not a simple wire from injury to movement. The brain can turn the signal up, turn it down, or temporarily ignore it when another goal matters more. Flies appear to possess a smaller version of that control. Then comes the evidence against pain. An insect nervous system is tiny. Many behaviors that look intelligent can be produced by small networks of nerve cells without any conscious experience. A fly protecting an injured leg may simply be running an evolved survival program. A bee crossing heat for sugar may be making a calculation with nobody inside feeling the burn. And insects sometimes behave in ways that seem impossible for an animal in agony. A badly damaged insect may continue feeding. A male may keep mating while being attacked. Some insects survive injuries that would completely disable a mammal. But that evidence is weaker than it first appears. Humans can also fail to react normally to serious injury during shock, extreme stress, or competition. Continuing to move does not prove the absence of pain. It only proves that another system can override the response. The real problem is that pain has no visible shape. We know another human feels it because they can tell us. With insects, we can measure avoidance, learning, increased sensitivity, protective behavior, and changes in decision-making. We can map their neurons and switch parts of the circuit off. But none of that lets us enter the experience itself. A major 2022 scientific review compared insects against several signs researchers use when looking for pain in animals. The evidence was not equal across species. Adult flies and cockroaches showed more of these signs than many other groups. Bumblebees showed flexible decision-making around harmful heat. Other insects had barely been tested at all. Beetles, butterflies, mosquitoes, ants, and grasshoppers cannot simply be given one answer because they all have 6 legs. Their brains, lifestyles, and senses solve very different problems. Some researchers argue that the evidence remains too weak. Complex behavior, they point out, can exist without consciousness, and a tiny nervous system may not need an inner experience of pain to protect the body. Others argue that this is exactly how animals were underestimated before. First, the behavior is called reflex. Then researchers discover learning, then memory, then choices between danger and reward, control from the brain, and long-term changes after injury. At no point does a light switch turn on and prove that an inner experience exists. The evidence simply becomes harder to explain without one. So the cautious scientific position is not that insects definitely suffer the way humans do. It is that the old certainty, that they are tiny machines incapable of feeling anything unpleasant, is no longer scientifically safe. A 2022 review found meaningful evidence for pain-like abilities in several insect groups, while also stressing how much remains unknown. And the uncertainty matters because of scale. Humans poison insects, trap them, dissect them, farm them, and grind them into animal feed by the billions. If they feel nothing, caution costs very little. If even some of them feel something, the number of experiences we have ignored becomes almost impossible to imagine. The fly cannot tell us whether the alarm hurts, but its nervous system no longer behaves like an alarm with nobody listening.